Hi there everyone, welcome students. So in your preparation for the November 2024 Feb 2025 case study, or rather the operational case study, the most important step is and will be to understand your pre-scene company. If you don't already know, the pre-scene company given to us for this exam attempt is called BackOffice. It's a company that makes backpacks for hybrid workers. Now, this pre-scene summary that we have created for you will give you an insight into how a detailed analysis helps you be on the front foot even before you start with your mock question preparation, your writing skill preparation, as we move closer to the exam date. So my name is Devansh. I am the lead tutor at FinTutors. Now FinTutors holds the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award for 2 years in a row, and a lot of students have been following our course, benefiting from the course just because of the upfront way of teaching, just because of the commitment that we just showcase within the preparation, within the course that we develop for all of you. And this is just one part, one piece of material through this course which I'm sure you are going to find helpful. So on this pre-scene summary, remember this is a pre-scene summary. It's not the entire pre-scene analysis. So in this pre-scene summary, we will give you a synopsis of all the important parts of the pre-scene, and I will showcase to you my method of breaking down the pre-scene so that you can learn from it and you can highlight important E, P and F pillar topics that you can revise, that are important, that are top issues and which have a great high chance of being tested in the exam. So through this synopsis, you will learn very important things. The first thing you learn is about the basics of our company. Second, you will learn about important E, P and F pillar topics that I will explain through the explanations. And third, you will have great ideas because of my explanations, because of the way I'm going to deliver this pre-scene synopsis. You will have great ideas which you will then be able to use as arguments within your mock questions. So this pre-scene summary you are going to find incredibly helpful because of these three broad reasons that I gave to you. All you have to do is be with me on this journey and listen to my explanations. Like I said, this is the summary, my entire detailed pre-scene analysis that highlights close to 12, 13 key issues, key topics which have a high chance of coming up in the exam, is part of my 3-hour pre-scene analysis. But this is the pre-scene summary, synopsis that we have created for you. So without further ado, let us start. So the first thing that we start with is your role. Remember, you are a finance officer working within the finance department of BackOffice. So what we actively have to do in this exam is role play that of a finance officer. I've already explained this in depth in my introductory video, but as we always do throughout the entire pre-scene, we will put text boxes like you see on your screen to give you further information, to link it further to your E1, P1, F1 syllabus, to point out top issues. All of that will be done throughout this pre-scene with these text boxes that you see, to make your study much more easier. So what we do is we take the actual CIMA pre-scene, then we will annote it with our own our own inputs, our own linkages to E1, P1 and F1, our own experience of knowing where, when, what topic comes up in the exam and picking out those top issues. Everything will be done in this pre-scene analysis. One by one will be laid out to you, and if you are with me, If you are following me, you will understand every single part of back office, because we will pick every line, break down every line, so you don't have to do any self-study except for going through this video like a movie with me. That's how interesting we'll try to make it. So what is your role of a finance officer? A finance officer generally helps with short-term decision making, costing, variance, working capital, forecasts, helping the management make decisions. Now think, all of these topics that I mentioned somewhere, somehow relate to your E1, P1, F1 syllabus. So what this eventually means is, to be a good finance officer, you need to have good E1, P1 and F1 knowledge. If you don't have good E1, P1 and F1 knowledge, you can't write a good answer and therefore can't fulfill the job of a finance officer. So like I've always said, the first place to start with is revision. I've already again explained this in my starting early video that is available on YouTube and through our course instructions. Starting early on E1, P1, F1 is vital for this operational case study exam, because a lot of this exam is based on your technical knowledge. So you are principally involved in the preparation of management accounting information and providing information to managers to assist with planning and decision making. They're telling you that your job is to provide information, prepare management accounting, planning, decision. Very clear that P1 is the major foundation pillar of this exam, and the principal role given to you, your principal role, revolves around the P1 syllabus. So if you don't know risk decision making, if you don't know your planning variances, if you don't know your costing information, technically just the concepts in your own words from the P1 syllabus, it's going to be very, very difficult to take this exam and achieve a positive result. At times, you are also expected to assist with preparation of financial statements, answering financial queries and other financial matters. F1 syllabus. If you don't have sound F1 knowledge, how are you going to address, let's say for example, lease related queries that they get to you? In this exam, there is no sum solving. You don't have to actually sit and solve sums or do any numericals, calculations, no. But you need to have that conceptual clarity to be able to answer doubts related to financial statements, doubts related to financial reporting. We have taken on a new lease. How will we report it? So you should know the initial measurement, the subsequent measurement, which is there in your F1 syllabus. So for any case study exam, it will be very important to immerse yourself into the details of this company, and only then you will be able to present answers that are specific to your company. To do well on any case study exam, the first base is knowing your business. If you don't know your business, do not expect yourself to do well on this exam. So I always say the first step to positive exam preparation, let's put it that way, is knowing your company. Because no matter if you've done your E1, P1, F1 revision, but you don't know your company, how and what are you going to relate to? So the first place is revision, but the second place is knowing your company, because both of these together move you towards mock question practice, and all these three together will move you to a positive exam experience. One without the other is not going to be of any use. You just do revision, forget the pre-scene, no use. You just do the pre-scene, forget the revision, no use. Both together are very, very, very important. And I am already clearly pointing out the important E1, P1, F1 topics for you, which you'll see on the screen. Your job is to pick them up, revise them in your own words. So first was your role. Second, we are starting with company background. So BackOffice is a company that designs, manufactures and markets backpacks that serve as an alternative to the traditional briefcase. So you design, you manufacture and then you market. So you are part of an organization that designs, manufactures and sells. So keep this in mind, and topics that are manufacturing related from your E1, P1, F1 syllabus become much more important, because this is not a service industry. This is like a manufacturing industry or a manufacturing company that you are part of. So when you are doing your E1, P1 and F1 revision, now remember that topics which are relevant to manufacturing related businesses become more relevant for you to study. Now, because we design, then we manufacture, then we sell, means we are a downward vertically integrated company, because every single part of this business is controlled in-house. We design, we make, we sell. We have control over the entire process. This is a good, I will say, a good business position to be in, because you can decide every single flow of your product. So some important information for us to be aware of. But this links to our supply wheel, supply chain management issues, because remember, you design and then you manufacture. For manufacturing, you will need inputs, you will need supplies. If that supply is not coming in, you cannot manufacture of your raw materials. The supply is not coming in, you cannot manufacture, and then you cannot sell. So for this vertical integration to work smoothly, you need to be having a strong supply wheel, strong supply chain management, and both of these concepts are there in your E1 syllabus. This is going to be further detailed in the pre-scene, but from the onset I found this important, so I have brought it up to you. So see how at every stage we break down the pre-scene, give you text boxes related to syllabus areas, so your life is much more easier. Now, BackOffice backpacks are built to a high specification and aimed at the growing market of hybrid workers. So they are aimed at the growing market of hybrid workers. It's a niche focus. We are focusing on one aspect of the market, which is hybrid workers. Hybrid workers are people who work from both home and office. Workers who need a portable container that can hold all their equipment they require to do their job when they're moving from one place to another. That's a hybrid worker. And BackOffice makes bags which are relevant for hybrid workers. So our differentiating factor here could be that we focus on quality because it's high specification, and hybrid worker backpacks only. But this could also mean that other product segments are currently being ignored, which can be seen as a let's say expansion strategy, growth strategy in the future. Right now I differentiate myself because I'm focusing on quality and hybrid workers. As we go deeper into the pre-scene and in the financials, in the knowings of the company, we will see, do we have extra capacity to add new products? If yes, then I have already spoken of opportunities. I have already spoken of different products in our industry analysis. So if you haven't viewed my industry analysis yet, please go back and view it. It has great ideas as a starting point. And through this pre-scene as well, we will be discussing new opportunities and new areas. But again, when something pops up, I like to bring it up then and there itself, so we don't lose the point, so we don't lose the linkage. Next, the company is based in Iceland. So this is a fictional country that they've given to you. A country in Western Europe which has the H dollars as its currency. So everything fictional. The country is fictional, the currency is fictional. But what I learn over here is a lot of stuff actually, because they say that we are based in Western Europe. So Iceland is a developed economy, which means people have the interest and people have the interest and money to spend on innovative, quality oriented hybrid backpacks. It's something which people will want to invest on. So a brand which is selling quality backpacks, high priced backpacks, could thrive in Western Europe. Because what is Western Europe? You have your France, Switzerland, Germany. That's pretty much Denmark. These are countries which have high GDP, high per capita income, which means people have that interest, have that money, have that culture of hybrid working, so they can spend on quality products. So segmentation and external market analysis will be important here. Only then somewhere, somehow the thought must have arisen to come up with this company in Western Europe. Because if segmentation is not done, if external market analysis is not done, how do we figure out, or how does the owner figure out that there is a niche for hybrid backpacks in this market, also which are highly priced? So the owner would have done, or the founder would have done, segmentation, external market analysis, which is important to continue for any business to keep looking for opportunities and ideas. So BackOffice is located in a developed economy, so it opens up advantages such as better infrastructure, highly skilled workforce, and customers having good spending power. Here we also need to take into consideration the higher regulation and high factors of production, because you are in this Western Europe highly priced economy in both ways. So a lot to learn from this Western Europe word, which people would automatically, not look at if you are not doing this detailed pre-scene analysis with me. BackOffice was founded in 2015, relatively new company, by Arlo James. But as you can see, or as you can think rather, any company that has survived for 9 or 10 years has been successful to some extent. Otherwise, why would you survive? If you're making repeated losses, you don't really survive. So a company has survived that for 9 years, which clearly means that it has garnered a set of loyal customers, brand image, brand value. People are coming back and buying our products. So we have built goodwill over these 9 years, and that is why we have existed. Now, one very important reason why I do such a detailed, pre-scene analysis is 2 reasons rather. First, to know our company. If you don't know our company, you can't do a good exam. Let's put it that way, like I already mentioned. But second is, I am doing such a detailed pre-scene analysis, or rather let me say 3 reasons. The second reason is to highlight important E1, P1 and F1 topics so you can revise them, and then when you write mock questions on them with me, stuff will make more sense. And third is, when you are writing those mock answers, you need good substance or good ideas from the pre-scene in those answers. That is why I say, when you've done the pre-scene analysis in such a detailed way, you can pick up ideas from my video, from my discussion itself, and include it within your answers. So for example, let's say you're writing an answer on expansion. The theme is expansion. You can start your answer by writing, we have been in the market for 10 years or 9 years, which means we have a good brand value, and hence we can extend this brand to Eastern Europe. For example, I'm just giving an example. So you are using information from the pre-scene, from my analysis in your answers, which will add good business skill marks, which will make your answer more relevant to back office. So your role playing of a finance officer is fulfilled if you use information from the pre-scene, knowledge about your company in your answers. So all of these text boxes are there to give you great ideas which you can then use when you go to mock question writing. Remember that. So Arlo, as a product designer by trade, was previously employed as chief designer for a leading hiking backpack brand. While working for this company, he became expert in ergonomic backpack design, technical textiles, and backpack manufacturing process. Now to back office ethos or the culture. But guess what? You already know this because I have been pointing this out from the very top, from the very beginning. But because it's part of the pre-scene, we'll go through it. We'll learn something new. So back office's mission statement is to produce the most beautiful, the most useful, the most durable, and the most comfortable office backpack. The mission guides the design and production of all back office products. Now remember, mission for any company means why it exists. So why does back office exist? To produce the most useful, most durable, most comfortable backpack. Anything that I suggest as a new product has to be true to this mission. You just can't say that tomorrow let's start selling cheap backpacks because they are selling. But that's not the ethos. That's not the culture of my business. So it's very important to know the culture. Arlo James and other members of the SMT are committed to sustainability. Very important. Sustainability credentials is what we are committed to and is important for us. So using this as our competitive advantage, mentioning this in answers, mentioning this as our growth, in any new growth prospect is very important because the business is committed to this. The durability of the designs means that the backpacks can last for many years. The materials used in production are always ethically sourced and recycled materials are used whenever this will not compromise the durability or functionality of the backpack. So all the time committed to sustainability. First thing we learned, that most durable, most comfortable, most useful backpack is what we give. Second, sustainability. Third, the company has an aim to be carbon neutral by 2030 and is continuously striving to improve its supply chain, manufacturing process, and outward logistics. So this will have to be at the center of our strategies and decision making. This means we are looking at new developments, innovations in our business. So modern manufacturing techniques can be looked at over here. Total quality management so that there is no waste. Robots, technologies in your management. But because this is my vision statement, this is our competitive advantage. This is something that I want to achieve. I'm working towards. So this can be used extensively in your case study style answers. So what are we learning in our ethos? First one, most durable, most comfortable, and most useful. Second one, sustainability. Third, to become carbon neutral by 2030. And fourth, the power source at back office offices is largely supplied by solar panels and all vehicles are electric. Now, because we are striving to improve supply chain, manufacturing processes, electricity is supplied on solar panels. All of this and continuous improvement brings F1 topics such as IS 16, property, plant and equipment, revaluation, disposable of assets, non-current assets held for sale, leases. All of this becomes very popular questions because you are always improving. Tomorrow they can tell you that we are looking at a new machine for stitching our backpacks, but we are going to lease it. How will we account for this? And because of this, we are going to sell our existing machine. How do we account for disposal of assets? I just gave you an exam scenario which can come up. So if you have revised these topics, life becomes much more easier because it's very clear in the pre-scene that we are improving, we are changing. So these things can happen. Next, the market for backpacks. The global market for backpacks is what we are discussing, but those who have done my industry analysis will have already gone through a brief overview of this market because it's already covered there as an overview with great ideas. And if you have that knowledge and then you are bringing it to this pre-scene information that they've given you, will add much more value. So the global market for all backpacks was worth 17.2 billion and is expected to almost double to 31 billion at a growth rate of 10% by 2030. So we already know from my industry analysis and further evident over here that it's a huge market with huge opportunities, huge growth segments. So if you stay ahead, you look at the niches, you serve your niche well, you are bound to do well. Currently, the largest market is North America, followed by Europe, and then Asia Pacific. This they are giving you market information, not about back office. This is market information. So the market is huge. North America is highest, then Europe, then Asia Pacific. The global market for backpacks can be broken down into 3 segments. Total global backpack sales, if you look, there are 3 segments: travel, other, and hiking/camping. Other is where back office is positioned. So we are part of the market that has 31% of the market share. So moving forward, is there a chance for us to expand into travel? Is there a chance for expanding into hiking, camping? Because these are also big, huge markets. We saw this in the industry analysis as well, that this is a highly fragmented market with lots of players. So there's going to be fierce competition. You have to do something different. And back office's ethos, culture is about differentiation. So new product launches, partnerships, acquisitions is something that you'll always have to keep looking for. In short, you'll have to stay true to your culture and make sure that you are evidently doing something new, but within your cultural umbrella. Now next we are starting to speak about the senior management team who run this business. I have always mentioned that it's important. See, in the last video as well, I was speaking about the 3 main reasons why the pre-scene analysis is important. First, it's important because you need to know your company. Your questions in the exam are going to be based on this company. So if you don't know the company, you can't write the answer. Second, it helps you identify important E, P, and F pillar topics. If you don't know those topics, you cannot revise those topics. Third, I always tell you that when you analyze so much in detail, you get great ideas which you can then use to type and use as material within your answers itself for you to get those extra business skill marks, business skill credit. So one easy way you can get further business skill marks and credit is by using manager names, manager competencies within your answer writing. For example, we'll speak about Arlo James, who is our product designer or is a design engineer, and he's very good at it. So whenever you're writing anything about product innovation, product design, product engineering, you can say, or you can write one line saying, let's take the opinion of Arlo because he is the expert in this matter and he has worked in the business for a long time. For example, you write something like that within your answer with obviously what they have asked you, with obviously supplementing it with the information that they want. You use information from the pre-scene in your answer, you will get more business skill marks because it feels like you are really a finance officer working with back office, and that's what the case study exam is about. Try to use more and more and more and more of the pre-scene within your answers, and I have been repeatedly asking everybody to do this, follow this, because it's a very important practice and you will be able to do it 100% naturally if you have gone through my this pre-scene analysis multiple times. So let's start. Managing director is Arlo James. Arlo has worked in various businesses as a product design engineer. He worked for 7 years as chief designer for a hiking backpack company before founding BackOffice. So he's a product designer. He knows what backpacks are all about. He's worked in this business for 7 years, so he naturally knows everything about BackOffice. anything related to production, backpack making, backpack innovation can go through him. You can use his name for consultation because that's his skill set. Knowing each manager's name and their skill set is very, very important. Next, we have Hilary Seck, who is the finance director. So she was admitted as an FCMA 5 years ago, wealth of experience, and she has worked in diverse range of organizations. Hilary works closely with Arlo and is instrumental in helping to drive the business forward. So her wealth of experience as a qualified accountant is very important because finance is changing every single day. The changing roles of finance within your E1 syllabus, becomes a very important aspect to go through over here. Next, we have sales and marketing. So for sales and marketing, we have Jem Rossi. Jem joined Arlo as soon as BackOffice was formed. So from the beginning, Jem and Arlo are working together. It was her vision of the BackOffice backpacks as a fashion as well as practical office tool that triggered the hire of the original marketing company. So Jem is Arlo's subordinate and is responsible for sales and marketing. She has great experience within sales and marketing, appointing the right people, which is a very important skill set. Next, we have production director Jack Lauren. Promoted to director in 2017, Jack has managed the growth of the manufacturing operations very successfully. Jack currently works most closely with Ben Conti, who is the research and development director. Obviously, Ben's department deals with research and Jack's department can see if it can be actually produced. So they both work together. He has worked his way up from the bottom, so he knows the technicalities and full details about the business. He was promoted to director in 2017, which means he was working in the business below at a lower level, and this can definitely help him, know the business in a better way. So he can be consulted on cost cutting assignments, production, assembly related assignments. We can expect a scenario where our company is committing to TQM in the long term. Hence, your JIT, TQM, costs of quality are important topics and concepts in your E1 syllabus. Next, we have research and development, Ben Conti. Ben was an ex-colleague of Arlo's from the hiking backpack company again. So Ben, Jem, and Arlo, all three were working together before they quit their jobs and they are now working at BackOffice. So they will have a rapport between them from the beginning, which will be very important. Ben's expertise with IT systems and design is a critical success factor for the business. What is a CSF? A CSF means something that you must get right. So if the IT systems, digital design within the business is not right, the business will fail. That's what CSF means. So Ben has an important role over here, and because he's looking after all the digital aspects, the IT systems, your app management, data management, website management, digital costing, big data becomes a very, very, very important concept which could be tested in the exam in different scenarios. So E1 backing on these topics will be important. Next, we have human resources. So Zed Abuto. Zed was recruited in late 2017 when it was obvious that growth in volume and diversity of personal roles needed careful strategic management. Business grew, more people, so you needed an HR person to manage this. Now, HR will be a key issue for our business, and hence our HR related issues from the E1 syllabus become important over here, like the HR cycle, like the recruitment process, the selection process, the testing process, the training process, because that's what our business is about, having the best employees, making the best bags, and that is why we have been successful. So each director and their skill set within our business is quite unique, is quite interesting, something that we should be aware of very, very much. Now let's go to the manufacturing process. So there are different departments within manufacturing. We already know that from our study of the different departments when we did the functional structure analysis. So first is the cutting department. So there are an average of 120 individual fabric pieces in our backpack. You can see how intricate it is. These pieces are cut by laser from the pattern approved at the end of the design process. So we have a very specific machine for this. Since we are using so many fabric pieces, there is bound to be wastages. So there could be a future scenario where these offcuts or extra cloth pieces, extra fabric pieces are used for making another type of backpack. Can be a scenario, right? This brings in joint product costing. So you start making a joint product, so the costing of this product comes into the question P1 syllabus. Next, after it's cut, it needs to be sewed. So the cut pieces are sewn together on a production line. First, the front pieces are attached to the exterior zipper, followed by sides and bottom pieces. At this stage, interior zips and handles are also added. The back is the most complicated section as it has padding for laptops and has to be attached to the top handles and paddled shoulder straps. So sewing is where all of this is sewed together, the zips and the handles and all of that is added. We can note that there are many steps within the sewing process and a mix of labor and automated methods are likely being used. This points to the benefit of using a modern costing system like ABC in this case, as each activity needs to be well understood, needs to be well costed over here. Traditional costing adds an average overhead rate to the direct costs of manufacturing products and is best used when the overhead of the company is low compared to the direct costs of production. We'll very much dissect the costing, the budgeting in the financial part, but just giving you some thought when the right time comes. So when I see the right time, I discuss the right topic. Activity based costing is useful even if your direct costs are high, but you still have many different products, you still have many different processes, you want to cut your costs further. This is where activity based costing comes into the picture. Next, final assembly. Internal bindings and accessories like your key fobs, your charger units, your buckles, your RFID protection are added to the backpack. This happens in final assembly. So again, like I said, your variances, because of there being so many different processes, so many different machines, humans being involved, variances come into the picture. Next, packaging. All completed backpacks are placed in a cotton wrapper before being packed in retail cardboard boxes. For bulk transportation, the retail boxes are stored in large cardboard boxes. So it's one box per bag. If you order a bulk, a big box with different boxes is what you'll find. So as per today's standard, there should be some mention of sustainability through the manufacturing process. I don't see anywhere a focus on sustainability in the process. Like for example, let's say the factory is powered by solar energy, or we are recycling the water that we use. Anything, I don't see any mention. So I'm commenting on there is an opportunity to further be more corporate socially responsible in this part of the business. Next, the production schedule determines in advance which type of backpack is being manufactured. Each type of backpack is manufactured in batches. Very clear, batches are made. One backpack, you will make a batch of let's say 500. Then that is put aside. Next backpack, another batch of 200, 300, whatever is decided. Which means you are producing based on your projection of demand. You are not producing based on order, not producing based on the pull system. So JIT is not being used. Each batch requires careful coordination of materials, patterns and machine calibration, because if this does not happen, will lead to losses, will lead to variances, will lead to costing issues. So over here, because it's manufactured in batches, we will need to understand the bottleneck processes of our company. Where is the bottleneck? Because every manufacturing facility has some bottleneck or the other. Could be labor, could be machine, could be labor hours, machine hours, inspection hours, changing the batch hours, or changing from one bag setup to another bag setup. It could be your bottleneck process. And because it's manufactured in batches, bottlenecks will exist, and hence the concept of maximizing throughput or throughput accounting comes into the picture over here. They can tell you that we are producing X bag right now. We need to produce EDC because it's a higher, for example, I'm saying we need to produce EDC because we have an order, specific order, and it's a higher contribution or a higher throughput generating product for us. If you don't know the concept of throughput and that maximizing products based on their throughput, based on their contribution is very much beneficial for the business, then you will not be able to provide reasonings to your answer. So very important that these concepts which I'm mentioning you are familiar with, otherwise you will feel lost. Next. So we did the manufacturing process. We are on other information about company operations. First being production facility. All back office products are manufactured in H-Land from its production facility. We've already seen we have one single production unit. This is in contrast to almost every other backpack brand which manufactures in Asia, where the cost of production is generally low. So this is my competitive advantage. I am producing in a high cost environment because I value my culture. I value the competitive advantage it gives my business. Because H-Land is the center of the fashion world, I have those credentials supporting me, which we have learned in our ethos. The SMT has stated that both control of the process and quality would suffer if production were relocated, and that this will not happen. In short, the location of the production facility is integral to the brand. So tomorrow you can't say let's just move the production facility. It's integral to the brand, and that's established. It comes with high cost, but you are already charging your customer high enough because of your premium pricing and the premium products, the premium raw materials that you are using. Furthermore, there is capacity at the facility for further expansion with the SMT intent to utilize soon. So the question that we had of a single production unit, they're telling us single production unit, okay, it has its own disadvantages, but there is chance of expansion over here. There is capacity at this facility. So capacity planning will be key for us, as we currently have surplus capacity, not in terms of quantity, in terms of space. Management intends to utilize it soon, so expansion is on the cards. When you're speaking of expansion, it could be new premises, it could be new property, plant and equipment. So your IS 16 comes into the picture. If you're growing too fast, again, it can lead to your capacity management issues, which means how much you are producing and the quality. This can also lead to costing issues. This can lead to variancing issues. This can lead to working capital issues. So because we are going to expand, all of these things need to be very carefully kept in mind. And guess what? All of these things are very much coinciding with your syllabus areas, which I have pointed it out for you. And expansion just doesn't mean buying. Expansion can mean leasing also. So rather than buying, we want to now lease new machinery. So your IFRS 16 comes into the picture, F1 syllabus. This is a very favorite exam topic, often comes up. Instead of buying, we are now going to lease this particular asset. How will it be initially recorded? For example, they can ask you, right? So your concepts which I am mentioning, keep adding to the list and make sure you are revising them. These are important areas that I am helping you uncover while understanding my company. Next, research and development. Over the past 2 years, developing new product ranges has been a priority for back office. key study areas from this section, because we are expanding, branding, market research, diversification risk is something that's coming to my mind. Unfortunately, the last product we launched was a complete failure and was withdrawn from sale almost immediately. The failed product was a backpack designed to organize and carry baby kit so that parents with babies could have all the essentials to hand while out of the home. So it was a baby kit enabled backpack, which was a big failure. It was believed that the brand would appeal to wealthier, brand conscious parents, but it did not, manage to do so. The unexpected failure of the product could have created significant budget variances where actual costs exceeded the planned costs. So your variance analysis, your feedback control is going to be very important in this situation. P1 syllabus. Feedback from the market research company that investigated the failure concluded that the product would have diluted the brand and that BackOffice would have avoided most of the development and design costs had it done a market research before. So a big failure for us was that we did not do a market research before. We have done the market research, or we have realized this after the product was introduced. So much loss incurred could have been avoided if we simply had a better external market analysis team. Something to keep in mind of, right? The senior management team was shocked by the failure and are determined that it will not be repeated. The withdrawal of this product would have 100% caused financial implications. So from an F1 perspective, students can study how development costs related to this failed product might need to be written off as an expense. So your expenses will increase because there is no asset. This product is not an asset, it's off the books. So the development cost taken or development cost incurred in making this product directly goes as your expense and as your loss for the business. Next, products currently in development are first, a range of backpacks made from recycled water bottles. Here comes sustainability. The bottles will be collected, cleaned and transformed into PET, a polyester fabric manufactured by a third party. So the polyester manufactured by a third party from these recycled bottles, we will get it and then we will make a bag from it. The material was chosen early on in the development process as a market research revealed that it appealed to green customers, but it needs to have a luxurious feel. So sustainability coming up into the picture, something new that we are trying to come up with as a differentiator, sustainability credentials being showcased over here in this product. Next, we have backpacks for people who cycle to work. This product will maintain the wearer's low center of gravity while cycling, having additional padding for laptops and protection and be waterproof. So this is another niche that we are attacking. Hybrid workers, but hybrid workers who cycle to work. So a very important niche that we are entering into. Third, we have Modus, a range of removable packs designed to fit into modified EDC backpack. So this is it's like it's removable packs from your EDC. Your everyday bags can have this Modus packs within them. The Modus EDC will be based on the traditional EDC design, but without the traditional internal compartments, and they will be sold separately as packets. So if you want a bottle holder, you buy it separately. You make your own bag essentially. Different Modus pack designs will be available, each serving a different purpose, meaning the user can easily adapt a single Modus to suit different occasions. You're carrying a water bottle, you add the water bottle holder. You're carrying a laptop, you remove the water bottle holder, add a laptop holder. For example, this is what's in creation. So this which may allow for greater economies of scale because you now have a greater market. People can customize their own backpack pretty much. So how standardization will lead to low production costs is an important consideration here, because if this is a hit, then your continuous making of modus can continue in the background, which can lead to cost savings, and then only the inputs is what the customer will choose, but the outer bag remains the same. So this is pretty much standardization rather than keep changing the setups, keep changing the just the requirements of the production based on the bag. Fourth comes a cabin bag. So cabin bag from ballistic nylon designed to meet airline cabin size requirements. We are going into a completely new segment, airline cabin bags, but this time made from ballistic nylon. If I take an overall look, differentiation is what we are doing, whether it be the sustainable credentials, whether it be the cycling bag, the modus bag, cabin bag made from ballistic nylon, we are going for unique features, product differentiation. Second, capital investment. We have extra capacity, so we are expanding in terms of innovation, but this will require significant investment. So your F1 topics of financial statements, how to manage financial statements, new assets, sale of assets, leasing of assets is very much likely to come up. And all of this is generating risk. So your risk related decision making topics, which I have been mentioning about again and again and again and again, come into the picture over here because of the pretty much the nature of this industry, the nature of this market, and how innovative our business is. This is where every single financial statement one by one is going to be picked up and is going to be explained by me to give you the entire financial situation of our company and an explanation of the same. So first we will look at the actual screenshot from the CIMA pre-scene and we'll go through the actual numbers. And second, I will give you my analysis on this, so it's easy for you to understand and easy for you to go through. So let's start first with the actual numbers. One very important thing is to remember that this is the statement of profit or loss for the year ended 30th June. So the year end is 30th June for back office. It's not your standard December year end. It's 30th June to make it a little bit more complicated. So everything that you calculate needs to be calculated up to 30th of June, not December. Remember this, students often make a mistake. Let's start. Our revenue, I will look at the exact numbers that they have given us, not looking at the zeros on the top, because they are obviously there. I know that they are there. So it would ideally be 14.62 million. But I'm going to say 14,620. Revenue has gone up to 16,110. So it's gone up to close from 14.6 million to 16.1 million, which I feel is a good growth for any business, which I feel is a path of strong growth for this business, in spite of our product in spite of one of our products recently failing. So one very important consideration over here, that revenue has gone up in spite of product failing. Next, cost of sales. Because revenue has gone up, naturally you can sell more only because you produced more. Because you produced more, you needed more labor, more materials. So that is why cost of sales has also gone up. But it's very clear that the increase in revenue is much more than the increase in cost of sales. If you see, revenue has gone up much more than the cost of sales, which means that I have been able to increase my sales and control my costs, and that is why I have a healthy gross profit increase. From 695 to 6.9 million, gross profit went to 7.9 million, 1 million increase, because I have been able to increase revenue plus control costs. Next, selling and distribution has gone up, which I can understand because we have sold more, because revenue has increased. So in line, selling, distribution, marketing costs, I understand, go up a little bit. Same way, admin costs have gone up, but they are pretty much in the same range. I won't say any drastic changes have been made. So no, so that's, something that we have to just keep in mind. Next, operating profit. Operating profit has shown an increase naturally because your revenue went up, your gross profit went up, your selling and distribution costs went up, but not by a huge percentage. So your operating profit went up, which is a good thing for the business. Finance costs have remained the same. If you see, from 536 they went up to 595. So I will say in the same zone, but an increase nonetheless. So why would this increase have happened? Naturally, finance costs is the interest that you pay on your loans. So if there can be two reasons. One, there is a loan, a new loan that you have taken, so new interest. Second, let's say the interest percentage of the loan has changed. There can be only two reasons, right? We'll see this when we go to the statement of financial position. But for now, finance costs have gone up and there can be two reasons for this. Still, profit before tax will show a good increase because all of your other metrics before have increased. Income tax expense has gone up, which is pretty much in line with more you make, the more tax you pay. You earn more profit, you pay more tax. That is the reason why tax could have gone up. And at the end, I come to a profit for the year of 1576, which is an increase from the last year. So business is moving in the right direction in spite of our product failing, but we still have 4 prominent products that we are working on, and our current products are also selling well because of our current credentials. So we need to be very, very familiar and clear about these absolute numbers which I have discussed. Hope it has made sense to you. If not, rewind and listen to my explanations again before I move on. So like I told you, first I will do the analysis of the actual numbers and then I will showcase to you my analysis. Because if you look at the actual numbers, it's not always easy to remember them, right? For example, revenue 16,110. Quite difficult to remember. Cost of sales 8,186. Quite difficult to remember. All of this is quite difficult to remember. So what we try to do is give you an analysis of the same in a ratio form to make your life much more easier. For example, now I'm telling you that revenue has gone up by 10%. So much more easier to remember. So much more understandable. This is where my analysis adds value. So first we do the actual numbers. Then I take you to my analysis. So increase in revenue at 10.2%. Cost of sales, I told you, has gone up but by a less percentage. It's proven over here 6.7%. And that is why your gross profit had a good healthy increase. If you look at expenses, your selling distribution went up by 10%, admin went up by 9%, but your revenue had altogether your revenue had gone up. So this led to an increase in operating profit, at 21.15%. So a healthy increase in operating profit shows that we have been able to control our expenses, we have been able to control our input costs, so our supplier relations have been good. Finance costs have gone up. In spite of that, our profit before tax went up by 24.3%. So very clear that it's, or rather very clear that the company is moving in the right direction, company is moving in the right path. If you look at the tax rate, it's slightly gone up, very slightly, from 25% became 26%. This is your profit before tax, but divided by your tax expense, divided by the profit before tax, which showcases that your effective tax rate has little bit gone up. Your operating margin is healthy at 17%. Profit after tax margin again healthy at close to 10%. So overall, if you look at the financials, the profit or loss of the company, you will see that the company is moving in the right path with a healthy increase in revenue, healthy increase in operating profit, healthy increase in profit before tax. Now you will see that I've highlighted some numbers in red. Why? They're not something new, but they're in red. Like I told you, remember the third reason for doing such a detailed pre-scene analysis? You can use this information in your answer writing. So same way, this financials you can use in your answer writing. You're writing anything about profit, you're writing anything about revenue, you're writing anything about profit before tax, straightforward, increase, expansion, whatever you're talking about. You can say that my revenue has gone up by 10%, which means we are in the right place. My profit has gone up by 21%. So whatever, if you remember one or two of these numbers and try to use it in your answer, it's adding much more value to your answer. It's adding much more value, business skill marks to your answer. So this is free marks and free ways to make your answer more and more back office related. So again, we are doing the financials because we want to understand the backbone of the company. Second, so that we can use some of these numbers. Never try to remember everything, or never try to remember anything rather, but go through it multiple times. Keep reading it so that it's fit in your mind that revenue went up by 10%. Then you don't need to remember all the numbers. One or two of the numbers will be enough for you to use. But understanding the situation is non-negotiable. So from our statement of profit or loss, it's clear that the business is moving in the right direction. And everything that I spoke to you is part of this written down conclusion over here, so that there is no, so that nothing is missed. And so that we are on the, so that you also have something with you to read when you are reading at your own time, at your own pace. This was the statement of profit or loss analysis. So this is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the financial analysis. There is a whole lot of detailed financial analysis that we do. You can simply write to us on help@fintutors.com if you have any questions with these financials, or you would like to access the full detailed version. But this is only the tip of the iceberg, and still you can see you're learning so much. Let's look at each product. The first product that we'll look at is our profitable cash cow, which is office backpacks. So let's start. Now they have given us sales revenue. Before this, they had given us overall budget. Now sales revenue only for office backpacks. We know that there are three types: Uffico, Capsula, and Scrivania. If you look at this breakdown, they have given us breakdown by website and by retailers. So if I look at the total sales volume, it's expected for this year moving forward, expected to be 71,900 in total, with retailers holding a larger percentage of, let's say, of distribution channel share. So in this year as well, we have not done much to promote my website sales, or we have not done enough, or we are not planning to do enough, because that's what the budget says. Because if you're planning to extensively focus on the website, naturally some part of the sales should show it. My suggestion is website can be further exploited, can be further used to our benefit. But from the sales volumes, we understand retailers are our major sales channels right now. Next, average sales price. If you look at, we are selling at a higher price on our website than we are selling to our retailers. That is natural, because you sell to your retailer, the retailer will apply his own margin and then sell to the customer. So it's naturally much more profitable for you to sell on the website. So why are we not promoting the same? We should promote the same. We should try to promote the same. Because if you see, from 3680 Ufiko bags sold on the website, we are generating 920,000 in revenue. For 5,520 sold through retailers, we are generating 1.1 million. There is such a small gap, even though there is a huge gap in the sales volumes. So website is much more profitable for me. That is what we understand over here. So in the analysis, this is what I mentioned. We expect 60% of the back office backpacks to be sold through retailers and 40% from our website. We need to increase the website share. It is expected that Scrivania would contribute to about 48% of the total office backpack sale volume. So Scrivania is my most popular bag. Then comes Capsula. Then comes Ufiko. In terms of contribution to sales revenue, Scrivania to contribute 43%, followed by Capsula, followed by Ufiko. So Scrivania is the most sold backpack, then Capsula, then Ufiko. This is one thing that we learn. Second thing that we learn is the website has a lot more potential to increase sales, to make sure that we are able to generate further profits for my business, because a website sale is much more profitable for the business, which we have seen and is evidenced over here. So that brings me to the end of our pre-scene synopsis, of our summary pre-scene analysis. Now we have, you can already see the quality that we showcase within our material. Let me just adjust my screen so you can see more of what I'm just going to explain. So that brings me to the end of this video, but we have a whole lot of free material available to still help you and for you to get the most out of this free material. I will ask you to visit my website. It says fintutors.com. It's as simple as that. And I've just put a screenshot over here of what the website homepage looks like. On the homepage itself, we have a free mini course available for you. In this mini course, you get industry analysis, how to write an answer, a mini mock, blueprint explanations, important topic explanations. All of this is there within the free mini course. Very well laid out, very systematically explained by me, personally curated by me. So it's a free course. I ask you to give it a try. So I hope you found this video helpful. For any questions, you can simply email us while going through the synopsis. If you have any questions, you can simply email us on help@fintutors.com and somebody from the team will personally get back to you. So don't worry about this. Somebody from the team will get back to you personally, answering your doubts. We are here to help you. I hope you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on one of my study courses. Thank you.